Hey Gemini, I just pulled cards for you, and honestly, what came through is something I need to share right away, because this energy around money and karma is absolutely wild right now. So I shuffled the deck, thinking about what's coming for Gemini, and the first card that literally flew out was the Four of Swords. And I have to tell you, this is so significant, because this card is about rest, but not the kind of rest you think. This is strategic rest. This is the kind of pause that happens right before something massive shifts in your life. You know how athletes rest before a big game, or how entrepreneurs step back right before launching something huge? That's exactly what this card is showing me about your energy right now. The Four of Swords is telling me that you've been in this period of quiet, and maybe you've been wondering why things feel so still, or why opportunities haven't been flowing the way you expected them to. But Gemini, I need you to understand something really important here. This stillness wasn't random. This pause wasn't punishment. The universe has been preparing you for an absolutely massive influx of abundance, and your nervous system needed time to calibrate to receive it. I know that might sound strange, but think about it this way. If someone who's never had money suddenly wins the lottery, most of them lose it all within a few years because they weren't energetically prepared to hold that wealth. The Four of Swords has been your preparation period. What I'm seeing in this card is that you've been doing inner work whether you realized it or not. You've been releasing old patterns around money and success. You've been healing your relationship with abundance. And now the universe is saying, okay, you're ready for what's about to come through. This rest period is ending, Gemini, and what's coming next is going to require every ounce of energy you've been conserving. The interesting thing about the Four of Swords in your reading is that it's positioned as a foundation card, which tells me that this period of rest and preparation has been absolutely necessary for everything that's about to unfold. Without this time of stillness and inner work, you wouldn't be able to handle what's coming. The universe is strategic and nothing happens by accident. Now, the second card I pulled for you is the Empress. And oh my goodness, Gemini. When I saw this card come up after the Four of Swords, I literally got chills, because the Empress is all about abundance, manifestation, and creation. This is the card of plenty. This is the card that says, everything you've been planting is about to bloom in the most magnificent way possible. The Empress isn't about small wins, Gemini. She's not about modest success or little improvements. The Empress is about overflowing abundance. She's about gardens so full of fruit that the branches are bending. She's about wealth that multiplies itself. She's about opportunities that birth more opportunities. When the Empress shows up in a reading about money and karma like this one, she's literally saying that you're entering a period of such prolific abundance that you won't even be able to keep track of where it's all coming from. What I love about the Empress appearing here is that she represents natural abundance. This isn't money that's going to come from forcing or pushing or grinding yourself into the ground. This is abundance that flows to you as naturally as a river flows downhill. The Empress creates effortlessly. She doesn't struggle or stress. She simply allows life to move through her, and everything she touches turns to gold. That's the energy you're stepping into right now, Gemini. I also want to point out something really specific about the Empress in relation to karma, because that's a huge part of your reading. The Empress represents the law of the harvest. You reap what you sow. And Gemini, the seeds you've been planting all this time, especially the ones you planted when nobody was watching, especially the kindness you gave when you got nothing in return, especially the integrity you maintained when it would have been easier to compromise, those seeds are about to produce a harvest so abundant that it's going to shock you. The Empress is also telling me that multiple streams of income or abundance are opening up for you. This isn't just one big check or one opportunity. This is abundance flowing to you from directions you haven't even considered yet. Some of this money is going to come from old sources that suddenly activate again. Some of it is going to come from completely new opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. And some of it is going to come from karmic returns, where the universe literally pays you back for all the times you gave without receiving. I'm seeing with the Empress that there's a particularly strong energy around creativity and ideas translating into money for you. If you're someone who has creative gifts, or if you've been sitting on ideas or projects that you haven't launched yet, The Empress is saying now is the time, because everything you create right now has golden energy attached to it. The Midas touch is real for you in this period, Gemini. The third card that came through is the King of Cups. And this card is fascinating in your reading because the King of Cups represents emotional mastery and mature energy. This tells me something really important about why this abundance is coming to you now. You've reached a level of emotional and spiritual maturity that qualifies you for bigger blessings. The universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you're ready for. And the King of Cups is confirmation that you're ready. The King of Cups is interesting because he's a water card about emotions and intuition, but he's a king, which is about mastery and control. So what this is showing me is that you've learned how to navigate your emotions without being controlled by them. You've learned how to trust your intuition without being impulsive. You've learned how to be generous and open-hearted without being taken advantage of. These lessons have been hard-won. Gemini, and the King of Cups is here to tell you that the universe has noticed. In terms of money and abundance, the King of Cups is really significant because he represents wise management of resources. This isn't just about money flowing to you, this is about you knowing exactly what to do with it when it arrives. You're not going to blow this opportunity, Gemini. You're not going to make reckless decisions or let fear drive you into hoarding or scarcity thinking. The King of Cups shows me that you have the emotional intelligence and the spiritual wisdom to handle wealth in a way that allows it to grow and multiply and serve not just you, but everyone around you. There's also something here about relationships and how they connect to your abundance. The King of Cups is telling me that as your financial situation transforms, there are going to be people who react to your success. And not all of those reactions are going to be positive. Some people are going to be jealous, some are going to be resentful, some are going to suddenly want to be close to you when they kept their distance before. The King of Cups gives you the emotional maturity to navigate all of that with grace. You're going to know who's real and who isn't, and you're going to make wise decisions about who you allow into your inner circle as your life changes. The King of Cups also represents someone who gives from overflow, not from depletion, and that's going to be really important for you going forward. As abundance increases, you're going to be in a position to help others, to be generous, to support causes and people you care about, and the King of Cups reminds you to do that from a place of genuine overflow, not from obligation or guilt. Give because you want to give, because it feels good, not because you feel like you have to prove something or pay back some imaginary debt. Now, Gemini, the fourth card, is the Nine of Swords. And I know this might seem like a weird card to show up in a reading about massive abundance, but actually this makes perfect sense. The Nine of Swords is about anxiety, worry, and mental stress. And what this card is telling me is that you've been through a period of intense worry, especially about money. There have been sleepless nights. There have been moments where you genuinely didn't know how things were going to work out. The Nine of Swords represents all of those dark nights of the soul where you questioned everything. But here's why this card is actually so powerful in your reading. The Nine of Swords is appearing as a card that represents what you're leaving behind. This is the old energy. This is the worry and fear and anxiety that has plagued you around money and security, and it's being shown to you so you can consciously release it and recognize that this chapter is over. The universe is showing you this card, like someone showing you a photo of who you used to be, so you can fully appreciate how far you've come. The Nine of Swords also speaks to the karma aspect of your reading, because I'm getting very clearly that some of the anxiety and worry you've experienced wasn't even yours to carry. You've been dealing with generational poverty consciousness or family patterns around money that were passed down to you. The Nine of Swords is the universe saying, those patterns are breaking now. The cycle ends with you. You're not just creating wealth for yourself, Gemini. You're changing the entire trajectory of your bloodline. I also want to address something specific about the Nine of Swords in relation to people who may have caused you pain or stress. There's energy here of someone who worried you or made you anxious, maybe someone who owed you money, or someone who took advantage of your kindness, or someone who made you doubt yourself. The Nine of Swords is saying that karma is handling that situation. You don't need to worry about justice or fairness, or whether wrong will be made right. The universe has it covered, and what's coming for them is not your concern anymore. Your job is to focus on your own abundance and let karma do its work. The fifth card that came through is the Ten of Cups and Gemini. This is the dream come true card. This is emotional fulfillment, happiness, harmony, joy, and yes, abundance. But abundance that's deeply connected to emotional satisfaction and life satisfaction. The Ten of Cups doesn't just say you're going to have money, it says you're going to have a life that feels good, a life that feels complete, a life where you wake up grateful. The Ten of Cups in a reading about money tells me that the abundance coming your way isn't empty. It's not money that comes with strings attached or stress or compromise of your values. This is clean, abundant energy that enhances your life in every way. The Ten of Cups shows me that as your financial situation improves, your relationships get better, your health improves, your overall sense of well-being skyrockets. Everything elevates together. What I love about the Ten of Cups appearing here is that it represents lasting happiness, not temporary pleasure. This isn't a windfall that disappears. This is the beginning of a new baseline of abundance for you. The Ten of Cups is showing me that you're entering a golden era of your life, where multiple areas all come together in harmony. Your finances, your relationships, your health, your purpose, all of it aligns, and you finally get to experience what it feels like when life works. The Ten of Cups is also confirmation that your manifestation work is paying off. All those visualizations, all those affirmations, all those moments where you dared to dream of a better life, even when circumstances looked bleak, the universe was listening. The Ten of Cups is the universe saying, I heard you, I saw your faith, I witnessed your hope, even when you had every reason to give up, and I'm delivering. There's also beautiful energy here around family and community. The Ten of Cups suggests that your abundance is going to ripple out and positively affect the people you love. You might find yourself in a position to help family members or create opportunities for friends or support causes that matter to you. Your cup isn't just full, Gemini, it's overflowing, and that overflow is going to bless everyone in your orbit. The sixth card is Death, and before you panic, let me tell you that the Death card is actually one of the most powerful positive cards in the entire deck, especially in a reading like this. Death represents transformation endings that lead to new beginnings, the shedding of old skin. In a reading about money and karma, the Death card is huge because it represents the death of your old financial reality. The Death card is telling me that your old relationship with money is done. The version of you that struggled and worried and made do with less, that person is transforming into someone new. The Death card doesn't mess around with gradual change. Gemini, this is radical transformation. This is you becoming unrecognizable to your former self. This is you stepping into a version of yourself that you've only dreamed about. In terms of karma, the Death card is particularly significant because it represents the death of old cycles. Whatever karmic debt or pattern or curse felt like it was following you, that ends now. The Death card is the universe hitting the reset button on your entire energetic field around money and worth and value. Old contracts, old agreements, old limitations, all of them are being severed, and you're being set free to create something entirely new. The Death card is also about the death of relationships or situations that have been blocking your abundance. There are people or circumstances that have been draining your energy or holding you back or keeping you small, and the Death card says those connections are ending. Some of these endings might have already happened, and some might be happening soon, but either way, the Death card is making space for your new abundant reality by clearing out everything that doesn't belong there anymore. What I find really powerful about the Death card appearing here is that it comes right after the Ten of Cups, which tells me that the happiness and abundance of the Ten of Cups is only possible because of the transformation of the Death card. You can't bring old energy into new blessings. You can't carry old patterns into new levels. The Death card is the purification process that makes you a clear channel for unprecedented abundance. The seventh card is the Ace of Cups and Gemini. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the entire deck. The Ace of Cups represents new emotional beginnings, divine love, overflowing blessings, and the beginning of a deeply fulfilling emotional journey. In your reading about money, this card is telling me that a new relationship with abundance is being born. This isn't just about having more money. It's about feeling differently about money. It's about receiving abundance from a place of worthiness and openness rather than desperation or fear. The Ace of Cups is the universe extending a cup filled to the brim and saying, drink, receive, let yourself be filled. The Ace of Cups doesn't ask if you deserve it or if you've earned it. The Ace of Cups simply offers, and your only job is to accept. This card is telling me that you're entering a phase where receiving becomes natural for you, where you don't question blessings when they come, where you don't self-sabotage or push away good things out of some misplaced sense of unworthiness. I'm also seeing with the Ace of Cups that new opportunities are coming to you that are aligned with your heart and your passion. This isn't just about making money doing things you hate. The Ace of Cups says you get to make abundant income, doing things that fulfill you emotionally and spiritually. For some of you, this might mean turning a hobby into income. For others, it might mean finding work that genuinely lights you up. Either way, the Ace of Cups promises that your heart and your wallet are about to be full at the same time. The Ace of Cups in relation to karma is really beautiful because it represents karmic rewards for all the love and kindness you've given. Every time you were generous when you didn't have much to give, every time you helped someone, even though it cost you, every time you chose love over fear, the universe was keeping track. The Ace of Cups is those blessings coming back to you, multiplied. This is the universe saying you gave from an empty cup for so long now, I'm going to fill your cup so full that you never have to do that again. There's also energy here around divine timing with the Ace of Cups. This card represents the perfect moment. Not too early, not too late, but exactly when you're ready to receive. The Ace of Cups is the universe saying, everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment, and this blessing is arriving at exactly the right time to change your life in exactly the right way. The eighth card that came through is the Six of Wands and Gemini. This is the victory card. This is public recognition success being celebrated and acknowledged. The Six of Wands doesn't represent private wins. This is about success that other people see. This is about your abundance and your transformation being so obvious that people can't help but notice and respect what you've achieved. The Six of Wands in a reading about karma is absolutely perfect because it represents karmic justice being visible. People who doubted you, people who underestimated you, people who counted you out, they're going to see your success and they're going to have to reconcile their judgment of you with the reality of your triumph. The Six of Wands doesn't gloat, but it also doesn't hide. This card says you're allowed to be proud, you're allowed to celebrate, you're allowed to let your light shine brightly without dimming it to make others comfortable. What I love about the Six of Wands is that it represents earned success. This isn't luck. This isn't chance. This is the result of your effort, your faith, your persistence, and your refusal to give up even when things looked impossible. The Six of Wands is the universe crowning you for battles you've won, for obstacles you've overcome, for courage you've shown when no one was watching. This is your moment, Gemini, and the Six of Wands says, claim it. The Six of Wands also suggests that your success is going to inspire other people. Your story of going from struggle to abundance is going to give hope to people who are where you used to be. The Six of Wands says you're not just winning for yourself, you're winning for everyone who needs proof that transformation is possible. Your victory becomes a light for others, and that's beautiful. In terms of money specifically, the Six of Wands indicates that financial success is coming in ways that bring recognition or visibility. Maybe you're getting promoted, maybe you're launching something public. Maybe you're being acknowledged as an expert in your field. Whatever form it takes, the Six of Wands says your financial abundance is accompanied by respect and recognition, and that feels good. The ninth card is the Hermit, and this might seem contradictory after the Six of Wands, but actually these cards work beautifully together. The Hermit represents wisdom, inner knowledge, and the ability to be your own guide. After the public victory of the Six of Wands, the Hermit reminds you to stay grounded, to maintain your connection to your inner wisdom, to not let external success disconnect you from your spiritual center. The Hermit in a reading about massive abundance is actually really important because it's a card of protection. The Hermit is saying that as your external world changes dramatically, your inner world needs to remain stable. This card is encouraging you to maintain spiritual practices, to stay connected to your truth, to not let money or success change who you are at your core. The Hermit is the wisdom that knows wealth is a tool, not an identity. I'm also seeing with the Hermit that there's going to be a period where you need to be discerning about who you share your abundance with and who you talk to about your success. Not everyone can be trusted with your story, and not everyone deserves access to your energy. The Hermit encourages healthy boundaries and reminds you that it's okay to be selective about who you let into your inner world, especially as your circumstances change. The Hermit also represents the wisdom you've gained through your difficult experiences. All those lessons you learned during hard times, all that spiritual growth that happened in the dark. The Hermit says that wisdom is your most valuable asset, and it's what's going to allow you to navigate abundance wisely. The Hermit doesn't just have money, the Hermit has wisdom about money, and that's what makes wealth sustainable. In terms of karma, the Hermit is really significant because it represents karmic maturity. You've reached a point where you understand how energy works, where you trust divine timing, where you don't need to force or manipulate or control. The Hermit is at peace with the universe's pace, and that peace is what allows blessings to flow freely. The Hermit knows that what's meant for you will find you, and that knowing creates magnetic energy that pulls your good to you effortlessly. The 10th and final card is the Hanged Man and Gemini. This card is absolutely perfect as the closing card of your reading. The Hanged Man represents surrender, new perspective, and the willingness to let go of control. In a reading about massive incoming abundance, the Hanged Man is the universe asking you to surrender to the good that's coming. Stop trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Stop trying to control the timeline. Stop trying to make it make sense. Just surrender and allow. The Hanged Man is showing me that the abundance coming to you is going to come in ways you never could have planned or predicted. If you stay attached to your idea of how it should happen, you might miss the miracle happening right in front of you in a completely unexpected way. The Hanged Man says, release your expectations, release your need to understand, release your timeline, and just trust. What I find really beautiful about the Hanged Man as your final card is that it represents a perspective shift that changes everything. When you change how you see your situation, everything changes. The Hanged Man hangs upside down, and from that position, he sees the world completely differently. He sees solutions where others see problems. He sees opportunity where others see obstacles. That's the energy you're embodying right now, Gemini. And that shift in perspective is literally attracting your abundance. The Hanged Man in relation to karma is profound because it represents the understanding that sometimes the most powerful action is non-action. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let go and trust. All those people who wronged you, all those situations that felt unfair? The Hanged Man says, surrender your need for revenge or justice or even understanding, and watch how quickly the universe resolves everything when you get out of the way. Karma works best when you're not trying to help it along. The Hanged Man is also telling me that your abundance is going to require you to think differently about money and success than you've been taught. Old programming, old beliefs, old rules, they don't apply to you anymore. The Hanged Man invites you to suspend everything you think you know and be open to receiving in ways that might look completely different from what you expected. Your miracle might not look like anyone else's miracle, and that's perfect because your path is yours alone. So Gemini, when I look at this entire reading from the Four of Swords, rest and preparation, through the Empress, abundant creation, through the King of Cups, emotional mastery, through the Nine of Swords, released, anxiety, through the Ten of Cups, dream fulfillment, through death transformation, through Ace of Cups, new blessings, through Six of Wands, public victory, through the Hermit, inner wisdom, and finally through the Hanged Man, surrender and new perspective. I'm seeing a complete story of your journey from struggle to massive abundant success. The title of your reading talks about drowning in millions and talks about karma being unstoppable, and Gemini, the cards are confirming all of that. This isn't hype, this isn't exaggeration. This is what the energy is showing me. You're entering a phase of your life where abundance flows to you so freely and so abundantly that it's going to feel almost surreal. The karma that's coming for you is positive karma. It's rewards karma. It's justice karma. It's the universe saying, I see you. I've always seen you. And now is your time. What makes this reading so powerful is that it's not just about money landing in your lap, although that is happening. It's about you becoming someone new. The person who receives this abundance is not the same person who struggled through the hard times. You've been transformed by your journey, and that transformation is what qualifies you for these blessings. You've earned this Gemini, not just through hard work, but through spiritual and emotional growth. You've become someone who can hold wealth with wisdom, generosity, and grace. The cards are also very clear that what's coming is unstoppable. This isn't something that might happen if everything goes right. This is happening, period. The energy is already in motion, the wheels are already turning. Your job isn't to make it happen, your job is to stay open, stay aligned, stay in faith, and allow it to happen. The universe is handling the details, and trust me, the universe is way better at orchestrating miracles than any of us could ever be with our limited human perspective. I want you to really sit with these cards, Gemini. Print them out if you can, or write them down somewhere. You'll see them daily, because these 10 cards are a roadmap of your transformation. When doubt creeps in, when old fears surface, when you're tempted to fall back into lack mentality, look at these cards and remember what the universe has promised you. This reading is a contract between you and the divine always keeps its promises. The karma piece of this reading is also really important for you to understand. Karma isn't punishment. Karma is balance. Everything you've given, everything you've sacrificed, every kindness, every moment of integrity, every time you chose love over hate, all of that is coming back to you now, multiplied by the power of divine justice. And for those who wronged you, for those who took advantage, for those who underestimated you, their karma is being handled too, and you don't need to worry about it or focus on it. Your only job is to focus on your abundance and let the universe handle everyone else. As I close this reading, I want to remind you of something really important, Gemini. You deserve this. You don't need to earn it more than you already have. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be open. The universe is trying to bless you, and the only thing that can block these blessings is your own resistance. So please, for the love of everything sacred, just let yourself receive. Let yourself be blessed. Let yourself be abundant. Let yourself have the life you've always dreamed of. It's yours, Gemini. It always has been. Now it's just time for you to claim it.